Hey everybody, a few days ago I was at InstructureCon and I was able to partner with Lauren, who is the EdTech Empress, formerly the Canvas Queen, and we did a presentation partnering with Lucid. Lucid is a company that make a platform that they give away for free to people who use Canvas. To educators and students were able to leverage their entire platform, all of the premium content, and we have it available in Canvas. And a lot of people don't know about this platform. And so we wanted to share some awareness of how we use Lucid. And I wanted to also talk about how it aligns with my UDL strategies, how I use it for universal design for learning. And so we created some slides in a Canvas course and walked through the Canvas course with people. I'm going to give you just one aspect of the presentation for this video and focusing on the UDL portion and how we use Lucid. So Lucid has two platforms, and I'm going to let this GIF run for a little while. And it's a good tool for students to organize their thoughts, to collaborate, to present their ideas. And there's Lucidcharts and Lucidspark. It's a great tool. Both parts of the tool are awesome. It's great to get people collaborating and sharing and exporting their content. I have a little tutorial here. I'm going to walk through how do we start getting Lucid in Canvas, and then we're going to talk about what is Lucid exactly. And so in your Canvas course, you're probably going to see something on the left-hand side that says Lucid Whiteboard, and you go ahead and click on that. If you don't see that, just talk to your LMS admin, and so that they can flip the switch to get that integrated. But Lucid's already in Canvas, and so we have access to it. When you click on that, as a student, it's going to ask, are you younger than 13 years old? If you are a teacher, then it's going to ask if your classroom includes students who are younger than 13, and so indicate that. And then you're going to go ahead and sign up. It's going to use your Canvas credentials to sign up for Lucid, and then you'll register. So pairing Canvas and Lucid, and then you get to a welcome screen where it's going to say, welcome your name. At that point, if you don't get into Lucid by clicking that button, you might have to scroll down to the bottom and grant access to Lucidchart, Lucidspark, to talk with Canvas. So it's just a few mouse clicks and then you're set. So I mentioned that there are two platforms. There's Lucidchart and Lucidspark. They're very different platforms. They can accomplish the same things, but they also serve different purposes. And so the way we emphasized in the presentation is that if you want to do brainstorming or mind mapping, really get that collaborative exploration, you might lean towards Lucidspark. Whereas if you're looking at charts and diagrams and timelines and you're organizing and explaining content in a very diagram and chart-like scenario, then Lucidchart would definitely be for you. And so some ideas would be, in elementary school, you might do some lifestyle cycle diagramming, brainstorming, storytelling. Middle school, you might work into other things, maybe continued brainstorming, might make a chart of the food web. High school, you might get into more complicated things. And then higher education, you're looking at mind mapping or process mapping or planning. You can think about the activities, the analog activities where you have post-it notes and you're putting post-it notes, sticking them onto the wall. That might be an activity that you want to do in a digital sense. And so Lucid would be a great platform for that. Ultimately, you want to ask, are you generating ideas? In that case, you might consider Lucidspark. If you want to communicate your existing ideas, you might use Lucidchart. Okay, so here's an example of an assignment that is built right into Canvas from a teacher view. And so as a teacher, I could put content like Canvas content on the page like instructions. This is just integrated right into the assignment. So it's saying only users with access to the document can view it here. I can share it. And if I click on this show more, it's saying that when the students submit their assignments, then Lucid will create a PDF image, you could say, and they're going to send it to my speed grader. And so essentially with this activity, I send the activity to the students. Each of the students submit the activity independent of each other. and then they each submit a PDF to me that I grade. And so in SpeedGrader, I can see one student after another. In this case, it's not collaborative necessarily, it's individual. And so I'm seeing individual submissions. And I can click around the board, I can zoom in or zoom out. Now I want to show you, what does this look like for a student? Okay, so this is a student in the dummy course, and so I can see the activity. I already completed it during our presentation, but I'm going to go ahead and change the response and move this around. And essentially, the activity that I've chosen here is, does it count as a salad? And so I'm going to have the students indicate, are nachos a salad? Yes or no. Is fruit a salad? Yeah, maybe fruit is a salad. Jello salad, maybe not. Caprese, certainly. And so I can just walk down here. Tuna salad, just because it has salad in the name. Potato salad, perhaps. Coleslaw, probably say no. Cereal is not a salad. The question is cereal a soup? And then pasta salad, maybe I would say no. And so now I'm going to submit my response. And as a student, I can see right here from the teacher end, I can determine, do I want them to be able to change the responses, resubmit the assignment? So back to the teacher page, and you can see there are a lot of options. Feel free to play around with those. But right now I'm going to edit the assignment. And as I was saying earlier, I can put some instructions, some Canvas-centric instructions on there. I didn't do that for this one, just for this example, but normally I think that would be a good idea to have some kind of explanation coming from me. Now for the submission type, you have no submission, online. Normally you would have an external tool if you wanted to do some kind of LTI platform and integrate it into Canvas, but Lucid is right here. And so if I click Lucid, then I already have something associated, but I'd go ahead and click on this Lucid button, and it's going to pull up, do I want to have this activity be a Lucidspark or a Lucidchart? Click next. I can create a blank board, and I can create it right here in Canvas, or if it's something that I've already created in Lucid before, then I can go ahead and find that. And so in this case, I had that, is it a salad, yes or no? Go ahead and select that, and now that artifact is the assignment. I can choose if it's a limited amount of attempts. Do I want them to be able to submit a certain number of times? And the rest of this is very Canvas centric. I would assign my points. How am I going to grade? Is it points, a complete, incomplete, a letter grade? Do I have due dates and such? I'm going to go ahead and cancel this since the assignment's already created, but those are the metrics that I would have around my assignment. Now, I talked about universal design for learning in my presentation and how I use universal design for learning and how Lucid is able to integrate with that. So first of all, I do backward design. And so my course is going to have learning outcomes. Those might have been created by me or somebody else within the institution. And then I'm going to have module learning outcomes. That could be a unit learning outcome. It's for whatever the unit is for your school class. It could be week 1, week 2, however you define units for your class. I would look at that and make sure that those learning outcomes align with my course learning outcomes, and that's called curriculum alignment. And then I determine what kind of activity do I want to do to measure those learning outcomes. So for me, I really like the pillar view DL, where I can have the students with a freedom to express themselves, that they can choose how they want to demonstrate their master of learning, how they want to interact with the content and demonstrate their interactions. And so I might have my students produce a podcast, or maybe they want to do a written assignment. Maybe they want to do some graphic design elements and create an infographic for me, or they might do a Lucidspark storyboard, or a Lucid board that emphasizes visual thinking. But the important thing is that I'm allowing my students to choose the path and how they want to produce the demonstration of their learning. And so an important way for me to do that is that I have one shared rubric, regardless if they're producing a podcast or some kind of multimedia, or if they're engaging in a written assignment, or if they're using Lucid, then I have a shared rubric. And I tend to, this is a very general way to set it up, but I tend to look at their understanding, their application, the evidence that they provide, and how they communicate that. And so, what this might look like is, let's suppose I have my course learning outcomes, and I have one outcome for an AI fluency course. And I'm looking at how they assess AI generated content and outputs for the accuracy, accounting for bias, and organizational fit. And then for this module, I might have a couple of module outcomes. So I want them to analyze an AI generated output, for example, or I want them to recommend improvements or alternatives to flawed AI generated solutions. And a lot of AI generated solutions are flawed. And so I know my outcomes, and now I have to create an assignment. I'm going to have my students complete an analysis of AI platforms and create artifacts for professional workplace audience. And so the artifacts might be in group A that they have to create either a comparison matrix or a slide deck or create a mini case study, or maybe they're creating a comic strip talking about when prompts collide. Important note down here is every option must accurately compare the platforms and communicate meaningful differences and provide actionable guidance. And so I'd have students create one of these artifacts from group A and then one of these artifacts from group B, which is more of a reflection and analysis. So I'm going to have them do an analytical reflection or a Lucidspark reflection board, a podcast, something visual. But regardless, whichever artifact they choose from group A and group B, I am going to engage in a shared rubric. And so I'm going to look at the application, it's 15 points, for example, critical thinking and reflection, 15 points. I'm not sharing necessarily the measures of the criteria or the definitions of the criteria, just each criterion. And so how do they integrate the core concepts and the professionalism, clarity, how well is it written? And in the submission, I would have them submit their artifacts, contribute it to their portfolio, and then send me a URL, a link to their portfolio. That's one example of how I might integrate Lucid with UDL. And so the important thing is the design principle is that I'm assessing the learning, not the format. We don't want to get hung up on having our students write an essay and having all the students given the same prompts, delivering their essays on the same day, doing the same tasks. And, there's a time and a place for that kind of assessment, but it certainly shouldn't be often in the course. So you want to assess the learning, not the formats. The important thing isn't that they're doing a discussion board or a quiz or an essay. It's that they have the freedom to be able to express themselves and that they're able to demonstrate their mastery of the content. That's the most important thing. So what might that look like in real life? Here is an example of a capstone assignment where I'm having students demonstrate their fundamental knowledge of generative AI, large learning language models, and comparing at least two platforms and talking about the benefits and the risks of all of those for organizational context. So in this assignment, I'm having them construct part of their portfolio that they're going to work each week towards this portfolio. And at the end of the term, they're going to have a portfolio that is for them that they can submit for credit in the class, but also they can share with potential employers. And so I want them to choose at least one artifact, and one could be a multimedia presentation. And just within that choice, multimedia could be video, it could be audio, it could be a podcast, it could be a screencast, which is a specific type of video. And so I'm giving them a lot of flexibility and choice. I can also have them do an infographic, so talking about visual representation and storytelling, a Lucidchart board, an explainer article might be a more professional thing, or blog post might be more casual and social media like, and then a Lucidspark board. So both Lucidchart and Lucidspark are options. If they want to choose that visual medium, then this gives them a tool that they can do that. And sometimes they might choose to do a more written assignment or multimedia with videos. But the most important thing is that I'm aligning my MLO1 and my module learning outcome 2 with my course learning outcome, and that all of these artifacts are able to measure the MLOs. And then here's an example of a more built out rubric that I can use with some definitions for each of the criteria, as well as definitions for the ratings and how I'm going to measure success and the point values. And so, with all of that said, I think that Lucid is a fantastic way for us to provide options. And I'm not even talking about how professors and teachers can use Lucid to explain the content, to present the content to the class. And in this presentation that I gave at InstructureCon, I focused more on how students could use Lucid to submit their work and how we can provide them with options for that. One last example of another capstone project that the students might submit is that they have to choose two. In this case, I give them fewer options. The previous module, I gave them 7 options and I told them to choose one. And now I'm asking them to choose 2 from a list of 5. And again, I see that Lucid really has a part in that. And look for other platforms too. Lucid is fantastic, and your institution might subscribe to other platforms such as ThingLink or Padlet, or even different ways that you can use your LMS. So I hope that this is relevant and useful information for you. If you'd like to watch a recording of the full presentation, then Lauren actually captured that on her cell phone. And so I'll link to her page where you can see it more comprehensively. And she gives more insights in the K-12 perspectives and aspects of teaching and learning, where I tended to focus more on higher education. But thank you for watching, and
Happy teaching and learning.